And let me talk a little bit about that piece of equipment. That's called a trim tab. We put it on our boats to help control the left to right swing of the boat or the bow. Lets us really control the boat in a lot of different situations. Not only is it important for a high performance boat like my ZV21 here, but it can go on just about any kind of boat to help you with a lot of things like tipping the boat if you got too much weight in one side, or if you're having a problem with a hole shot, you can put them down a little bit. It'll make it jump right up on plane. The nice thing is that this is a real easy accessory to add right to your boat. Now I'm going to be talking about the Powertran Pro tabs here. The reason I picked those is I found that they're really, really durable with that little bit of bend in their fin like that. Super strong. They don't bend up after time. They stay nice and flat, so they're really digging the water the way they should be. The other thing, and maybe the biggest reason I like this, is because it's driven with a joystick. So you aren't pushing buttons. It's just real intuitive. If you want the left side of your boat down, you just push the joystick one way. If you want the other side down, you push the joystick the other way. Push straight forward, your bow goes down. So real easy to use in there. The nice thing is, like I said, pretty easy to install also. Now I did this myself. First of all, there's really good instructions on it, because the key thing here is that when you're placing your trim tabs, not only do you need a place where there's pretty good water flow, but you also have to position them so that if you've got them all the way up, they aren't impeding the performance of your boat. That is, they aren't just dragging in the water a little bit, because that will actually slow you down in the water. So you want them so they're up all the way out of the water when you're running wide open and you don't really need them. But when you need them to trim down and actually dig into the water to affect the hull side to side positioning or attitude. So the nice thing is super easy to install, and let me just go through a little bit of that. Okay, so the first step you've got to do again is figure out where you're going to put this on your boat so you get some water flow coming by. And then you want to make sure that the trim tab itself is actually mounted on your transom a certain distance above the running surface, and it's right in those instructions.
What I've got is, this is 3/8 inch right here, and this is 3/8 inch right here.
You're going to use all the screws. Make sure you put all the screws in, add silicone, because this is where it's going to take all the pressure from the water running by the trim tabs. Second thing you're going to do is figure out what angle that trim tab has got to come back, so that when the piston is all the way up, it's nice and flat. When the piston is down, it's digging in the water. So what you're going to do is, or what I did, was put a straight edge under the boat on the running surface, and then again you measure that distance from the straight edge up to the trim tab to make sure that that tab is in the right position.
So one of the more difficult things you've got to do when you're putting on these Pro tabs is you've got to get it to where this running surface here, which is right above the trim tab, that surface, the back of the tab back here is 3/4 of an inch from here. So what I did was I just kind of clamped in a level so that it follows that straight edge on the bottom of the boat. And then I came out here and I put in a little bit of spacers out here to lift this up, so I've got that 3/4 of an inch difference. This is real important. If you have less than 3/4, you might drag when the boat's on plane. If you've got more than 3/4, then the plate might not dig into the water enough. So kind of a difficult step, but not too bad.
Next thing you're going to do with that all in place is actually position your piston. So again, you're going to drill 3 holes up there. You're going to run your control lines through the transom. So you're going to have to drill a little bit bigger hole for that. But then you're going to screw that down so that that piston holds it up in the right position when it's all the way up. And when the piston extends, it's going to dig it down into the water. Then you just simply run those cords up to your console. It's pretty easy. Everything is color coded. You just take and hook it up to your joystick up there. Get to drill a nice big hole in the console to put that joystick in. But once it's in, very easy to set up, and you're ready to go. So again, trim tabs are a great accessory to add to just about any boat. Gives you that attitude control, the left and the right, the bow down, all of that stuff. With the Powertran Pro tabs, you got that nice easy joystick to make the movements that you want to do, and it really lets you get out there and get the most out of any boat.